What's up YouTube, Rodrigomanzo here, and today I've got another great video for you all. We're talking about strength when it comes to the bench press, the squat, and or the deadlift. Now I know there are a ton of videos out there that tell you to do a 5x5, a 5-3-1, 6x7, 7-5-9, whatever, all kinds of stuff. Today I'm not talking about a certain parameter of reps that you should be doing. Today I want to talk to you about philosophies that you should consider into your programming every single time when it comes to strength within your bench press, your squat, and your deadlift. So let's get into the video. Alright guys, so today's emphasis is on the strength template. This is going to be the template that I always recommend you keep in mind when it comes to your programming. So again, this is not necessarily a particular rep or set scheme at a certain percentage. These are four main factors or ideas that you should always have in mind when it comes to your programming if you want to become stronger when it comes to your squat, bench press, and deadlift. Step number one when it comes to the strength template is your major movement. This is going to be your primary or compound exercise, being your bench press, your squat, and or your deadlift. To make it simple, I'm going to be outlining my deadlift for this template. So for my major movement, I have the conventional deadlift as my choice. Now, you need to make sure that the major movement is your preferred choice of the compound movement. So for example, if you do a high bar squat, you would pick a high bar back squat. If you do a sumo deadlift, you would do a sumo deadlift, correct? And again, you know, this is something that you need to have first when it comes to the strength template. Why? Because it yields practice and repetition work with that major movement, and that will result in, you know, a much more efficient lift, which is always going to be better for optimal results. And then second, we have focus on the weakness. A lot of people tend to focus primarily on their strengths and not nearly as much when it comes to their weakness. And this is a huge mistake because you are only as strong as your weakness. Number three is to maintain your strength. I know I mentioned that a lot of people tend to focus on their strength only or too much compared to their weakness, but that does not mean that you should not maintain your strength when it comes to that compound movement. Because if it doesn't go well when it comes to your weakness, you need to make sure that your strength or the position in which you are strongest is optimal for that movement. It's not about picking one or the other, it's about having a good balance. And then lastly, we're going to talk about assistance work in conjunction to your weakness. The first three movements should be a variation, the second two movements, so number 2 and 3 should be a variation of the first movement. However, the fourth movement or the assistance work is not going to be a variation of the major movement. It should be a completely different exercise that helps strengthen the weakness at some point in the movement. So my major movement would be the conventional deadlift, and my weakness is at the bottom. So I chose deficit deadlifts as the variation of the major movement to help me with my weakness, being the bottom. Third, I chose stiff leg or straight leg deadlift because I am strongest at the lockout. I have never ever missed a deadlift from the lockout. I've only missed it from the bottom just because of my weakness. And then lastly, we have high bar back squat. It's a completely different exercise than the major movement. It's not a variation of it, of course, but it also strengthens my quads, which can help me with getting more speed out off the bottom, which can help me with my weakness at the bottom. Over here I have my goals for a deadlift as an example as well. My previous meet PR was a 507 pound deadlift, or right around. I'm hoping to get a 545 pound minimum by December, and of course 585 or 6 plates is the goal for next year. And I'm hoping that this strength template really helps me get to those goals, and I hope that you guys can try it out and that it helps you guys as well with your goals as well. And lastly, this does not only apply to the deadlift. This could also apply to the squat. So for example, if you're a low bar squatter, we put low bar back squat on the major movement. If your weakness is, say, at the bottom, we would do pause squats for the focus on the weakness. Your strength would most likely be at the lockout. So right here, you might want to do box squats. And then lastly, for your assistance, you could do a type of sumo variation for the deadlift, because that also helps with the lockout, but it can also help with the bottom position in terms of getting tight. So that's just a quick example. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you learned something new and or liked the video, please make sure to hit that like button and also share the video. That helps the channel grow tremendously. Again, I want to thank you all for watching so much, and I will see you all in the next video.